everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.
Here from the Top 10. I'm John Roca.
And I am Matt Nose. This is a show that we do for our patrons who join us over at patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. There's an email address over there, and they can send in questions, topics, whatever they'd like us to discuss. We don't know what it is beforehand. We just answer them as they come in. John, believe it's your turn to start, sir.
Yeah. All right. We're starting with Will Anders here. He says, I'd like to ask a couple of questions if that's okay. If you just want to answer one and move on to someone else, that's cool. Don't want to hog the show. Anyway, here's a question. My friends and I were discussing the other day. Is there something you change about the movie going experience? For me, I want to be able to put the butter on my popcorn. I've heard some people have that option at their theater, but I don't really. Although I'm from a small town in Oklahoma, so my experience isn't the same as yours living in a big city. Do you have a topic for the top 10 that you won't do? You guys cover everything, but I didn't know if there was one thing you hadn't or won't cover. Maybe you don't want to talk about it since you haven't done a show about it yet. Who knows? I was just thinking about it. What were your first jobs? Mine was working at a Sonic. It wasn't too bad. Most customers were pretty cool. Sometimes they would be a jerk for them, but for the most part, I liked it. Thanks for all you do and keep crushing, Will Anders. So, Will, you asked more than a couple questions, but
True.
we'll go with the first one here and work our way through it. Matt, is there something you change about the movie going experience? Will lives in a place where he doesn't get to put butter on his own popcorn.
I have never actually put the butter on myself.
Or you've had them do it.
They've always done it. I have been to places where you can butter your own popcorn, but I so rarely get popcorn now because it's just been beaten into my head that it's so god awful for you that you really shouldn't be eating it. And I got body dysmorphia like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I can't. I've been fat. I don't want to be fat again. If it means I don't get to have my movie popcorn, so be it. That's the only snack I really want in a movie.
Right.
I could care less about this. Although it's nice sometimes, I'll get the sweets.
Yeah.
But if I had my druthers, I'd get popcorn each and every time.
Mm-hmm.
But when it has more fat than like 5 Big Macs or something ridiculous, it's like I can't justify doing this. Even I don't care how delicious it is. I would change, honestly, the length of the previews. It's too fucking much.
Right.
It's minimum 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's utterly ridiculous. And my favorite is when you go to certain theaters and they play ads and stuff before they get to technically the start time of those.
Right.
And invariably they close out those and can be like, in essence, you're welcome for getting to watch AMC's first look at all these commercials that you're welcome. It's like, oh, thanks for inundating me with commercials before we get to the commercials for other movies.
Yeah.
But the 25 fucking minutes, it's minimum 25. I don't even show up at theater anymore until technically the start time because I have more than enough time then to go to the bathroom and go get a water or a coffee or a soda or something.
Yeah.
I got all the time in the world. And then I'll sit outside the theater until about a minute or two before I think the movie itself is actually going to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. It is AMC is the worst at it because it's like 30 minutes before the movie even fucking starts. So that's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. And there's a frustration aspect to it all too. That you're just like, well, why am I coming here at this time if I'm going to be sitting through all this nonsense just to be able to, fucking do something or watch a movie? So, I mean, that to me is the thing that drives me the most insane. It's like, how much longer do I have to wait for that to happen? And so, man, come on. And so, yeah. And it's been a long time though. I mean, I get to go to screenings now. And so I rarely have to sit through trailers. I don't think I've ever had to sit through a trailer at a screening, but every once in a while I'll go see a movie regular way. And yeah, the frustration factor, especially when you've seen the trailers already, like online or done a reaction to them and you're seeing them over and over again. It can get so annoying. I think the number one thing I would change is people might think this is pretty militant of me, but I would have a national security firm that would come into the theater and stand there the whole time, walking up and down the aisles. And if anyone pulls out their fucking phone for anything other than emergency or talks too loud or whatever, you're escorted out. You can get one warning and then a second warning. You're playing fucking Angry Birds. You're playing to get the fuck out. And you're refunded your ticket, so you're not you're not paying and they're taking your money. But that's what I would do. That's the one thing I would change, because people, more and more, I'm seeing people care less and less about ruining people's experience, or ruining people's experiences watching movies. When I go to a regular theater every once in a while, I see people like just having full on conversations or fucking live tweeting their experience verbally, or playing Angry Birds or on the Wordle or whatever new app they're enjoying, or sometimes just fucking texting the whole time through the movie. And it's cool if you're sitting in the back, like no one's gonna fucking see you. You're not gonna affect anybody. Knock yourself out. But if you're down in the center area, the middle area, and you're doing all that nonsense, I think it's disrespectful to the film and it's disrespectful to everybody else who's in the theater. So this may be militant, but that's what I think. That's the one thing I would change. Have people there, paid security guards who are there, big dudes who are there to kick people out if they fuck around and ruin the experience for people. So that's my number one thing.
Sure. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think the walking up and down the aisles would piss people off just because it's distracting.
Well, that's what they do at screenings, at Disney screenings, and it's never bothered me. But I see your point, though. I see your point. Some people might feel weirded out about it or intimidated by it, but I think people get used to it.
Yeah, maybe just have a camera over the entire theater, just one camera, and if something lights up, you can just headset somebody in the theater. Boom, aisle M, seat 12. They're on their phone.
Good point. So maybe they're stationed like at the bottom and maybe two at the top.
Oh, yeah.
And then whoever gets radioed.
Well, I mean, I think it's one person, to be perfectly honest.
Because one?
No theater in the world is going to pay for 4 security staff.
Well, listen,
every screening.
This is a fantasy, right? He has us what we would change. That's what I would change.
Okay, well, mine was, hey, let's cut it out. Maybe cut down some of these trailers. Yours is, I'd like you to hire on, let's see, at a multiplex.
Yeah.
So 50 people a night, maybe 60 people a night to stay in the theater.
But but it wouldn't be 60 people. Oh, well, I guess with all the
4 per screening and all the screenings going on.
You're right. No, you're
Plus,
right.
you need to, schedule breaks and all that stuff. You can't just work nonstop. And then they got to have seats.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, they can't stand there the whole time.
But you're affecting their bottom line if you remove the trailers and the ads. That's money they make off those things. So
find other ways. Find other ways. Although the most grotesque thing I saw was Elon Musk is talking about putting a satellite up into space that has ads on it that we'll be able to see from ground. That's got to be a UN resolution. That shit ain't happening. We're not covering the fucking night sky in advertising. I'm sorry. Don't you have enough money, Elon? Shove it up your weird haircut ass. We're not fucking doing this. If he had any aspiration of some sort of higher office or something, this is a way to piss off people. You have enough money. You don't need to do this.
Wow. I can't even imagine looking up at the night sky and it's an ad for Verizon.
Just a huge ad. Gross. Don't need to see it. No one. We got to be able to. Hopefully, there's no way it stands. We'll be able to legislate this out.
Yeah.
But he wants to do it in like the next year or two. Send up a satellite.
What?
It's like,
fuck that.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
No shit. That's madness.
Hopefully, he's just doing this so that people get pissed off about this, so he can do something he really wants to do over here on the side.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, you don't. Okay, fine. I can't do this, but how about you let me do this? And we're like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. You want to put a high-speed train tunnel that's completely impractical in Los Angeles? That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Do you have a topic for the top 10 that you won't do? The
only one I've ever said no to is musicals.
Yeah, musicals. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Just because you're a fan, but I can't get to 10.
Yeah.
Like legitimate musicals, I haven't seen enough of them to make an honest opinion.
Right.
And then the ones that could potentially sit down and watch too, like a lot of the older ones are long as fuck. Like 2.5 hours. And like, what? I don't need to see people singing and dancing for 2.5 hours.
Musical, well, West Side Story.
Yeah, West Side Story. In an American in Paris.
No, that's really only long. That's only 2 hours.
Okay, well, it just seems like 2.5.
That's what I think is more true.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, it just musicals are the only one that I can think of that I've ever balked at.
I think rom-coms, right? We haven't done it. I don't think we've ever done rom-coms.
Oh, we definitely have done
Have we
rom-coms.
done rom-coms?
Had to have.
Okay.
I like rom-coms.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got zero problem with that. I may not have seen as much as somebody who's a really huge fan, but I've seen
Yeah,
a
right.
lot of rom-coms
Fair enough.
because when they're good, they're still really good movies.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at some of the longest musicals ever made. So interesting.
Paint My Wagon Red. What is that one? 245?
I don't know what you're talking.
3?
Ridiculous, man.
7 Brothers for 7 Wives. I think
Seven
that's 4.
Seven Brothers is a good one.
That one's 4 1/4.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, I can't see. It doesn't seem to have anything here with the it's more about longest films ever made as opposed to the longest musicals ever made.
Okay.
So I don't see anything here. Some films are 48 hours long. Get the fuck out of here. Who does a film? That's hubris.
That's just I want to make the longest film.
Yeah, right.
And when they released that was probably the longest film. I know there's a film that lasts like a week or something ridiculous.
What? Fuck.
It's an art exhibit at that point.
Yeah, right. You should cast what's his face? Shia LaBeouf in it.
He's an actor we both respect.
Yes. True.
Is he a weirdo? More than likely, yes.
Yeah.
Is that a byproduct of being corrupted by fame from the age of 8? That would be my guess.
Possibly.
And having eccentric parents, let's put it that way.
Although Sean Astin isn't that messed up. And he's kind of been famous since he was a kid. I think it's how you're built. The parents thing, I think, is an important aspect of it all.
Yeah.
No. All right. I'm at the 3-hour mark. I don't see any musicals that are 3 hours, guy. So,
well, that's a load of hooey. There's definitely got to be musicals that are 3 hours long.
I think they just feel 3
hours. It's like the height of musicals in the 50s, 60s. There's got to be a 3-hour musical out there. There has to be.
Yeah, I think Sound of Music. Right? I would say.
As
longest
what?
Musical runtime. Longest movie musical runtime. So I'm going to try that. See if anything comes up because. I mean that's.
I can't believe you can't find anything.
Yeah, I see the list of the longest films, but they don't go specifically by musical. They say all movies. So, or they'll go into Broadway. Even though I'm typing movie musicals, it still goes into Broadway, which is frustrating because they consider that just musical.
Yeah, I the first initial search I did.
Yeah,
like 8 of the 10 returns are this Broadway play, that Broadway play. Like
right.
Yeah. I literally put movie in the fucking search.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. All right, and the other part of his other question was, what were your first jobs? Mine was working at a Sonic. What was your first job? You want to say?
Oh yeah, I worked at a car wash.
Oh, okay.
Worked at a car wash over the summer in the Midwest, which is already humid. Oof. So then you work in an environment that adds 100% more humidity, and it was god awful. I mean, I was happy to have it as my first job. I wanted a job, but I dreaded going to work every day.
That's mind blowing to me, man.
Well, there were days where, because you had a uniform that you wore,
yeah,
and you change out your shirt like 3 times, sometimes 4 times, just because you sweat through it. There's that much humidity. Oof. Yeah, it was fucking terrible. And you had different jobs on it. I remember, so you start out and you work at the end of the line as the car is coming out of the full process, and you just you're shammying down the side to get all the water off. And then you move to different aspects. But there were 2 cush jobs. One was driving the car off the line because you could crank the AC in the car as you clean the interior, so you could cool off. And then the other one was working the booth out. I never got to work the booth because I left. The booth was basically for the veterans that had been there for a while.
Yeah.
But I got promoted to getting in the car to clean it so I could crank the AC, and I loved it. But I lied and said I could drive a stick.
Oh, shit.
And I stalled out a car one day, and it stalled. It can sometimes jolt.
Yep.
It jolted into another employee and banged him in the knee.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he left to go home, and the next day he was like, I was fine. He got me out of work. But I felt bad, and
Yeah.
I immediately got taken off, and they moved me to another job. I didn't have to go back to the front anymore,
Right.
but that moved to another job.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, I worked on that for like, I worked over there for 3 months in the summer. I think I worked the inside of a car for 2 weeks or
Wow.
something, and then did that, and I was off the cars.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted the cush booth
Of
job,
course.
but I never got that.
Well, it's probably good. That means you've been there too long.
Yeah, a friend of mine decided to stay on. He worked it over the winter in the Midwest because people still get their car washed because of the salt on the roads.
Yeah, of course.
And I worked at a liquor store for my second job.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I love that job. But yeah, I couldn't imagine like, it's like, yeah, going to red carpet. It was called Red Carpet Car Wash.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, still working there, man. Good for you. But at the same time, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your first job?
Working in the warehouse of a place called Job Lot Pushcart way back when in Virginia, Dale City, Virginia. It was the mall had just opened. I needed a job because I wanted to be able to afford going out and stuff. Like I was
Sure.
opening the door to going out with girls and going out with the guys and not drinking, but like hanging out and going to places and whatever. So, yeah, I got a job working in the warehouse, $15 an hour. It's a really nice start for a guy my age. And
That's fantastic money.
yeah, for the warehouse stuff. It's also probably why they went out of business within 2 years because
Yeah. And I mean, what year was this? Like 92 or something?
Oh,
93?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, what year it was, Matt. I don't remember.
I thought, well, you were in high school.
Yes, I was in high school.
What years did you go to high school?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
It was sepia toned. I remember it was sepia toned.
Boy, that's an indictment of your lack of memory in your old age. That's just compounding the problem you're trying to evade.
You're probably right.
Yeah,
By the way, I found these 3 musicals: Sound of Music, My Fair Lady, Camelot, all over 3 hours or around 3 hours. So you're not wrong.
Say My Fair Lady is a joke, but I assumed it was shorter, but I've never seen it.
You're not wrong here, Matt. There's quite a few.
I was going to say, just at the height of musicals, there's just going to be.
It's also when people nominate them for Best Picture. The King and I, that's another one. That's a long one too.
Back when people were less educated about what film is and what it could be.
Oh my God.
Well, they're just taking plays and putting them on celluloid. That's all they're doing. They're not advancing the medium.
You're ridiculous. Topsy Turvy. That's a musical. It's technically.
I've been watching that literally nonstop.
Really?
For the past week. I've been falling asleep to it nonstop lately.
How interesting.
And I wish it was another hour longer.
Yeah, see? So it can happen.
Yeah, well, look, if that counts for musicals, boom. Guess what my number 1 is? There we go. Easy peasy. Although I don't count that as a musical technically.
Right, because they don't actually sing through transition.
It's not propelling the storyline. Right. The songs aren't. Like Sound of Music to me, yeah, that's a musical.
Yeah.
That would be on my list. But
Les Miserables.
Yeah,
that's the most recent one.
Yeah, that's a musical because the music is about the story and it's,
Yeah, fuck, man. I guess I just avoided these because South Pacific. I've never seen South Pacific. I've never seen. No. Oh, West Side Story is 156 minutes. So yeah, West Side Story. That's a lot. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I worked in the back there. That's where I ended up meeting that girl who was 22 years old, who had a child, and we kind of did it up until she found out I was not 18, and that became a whole issue. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So so that was my job, and then eventually moved out of there to work at another place, an electronics store, and they made me a salesman, which I hated with a deep, dark passion because they were like, well, you're so good with people. You just like to talk to people. You're so natural. Yeah, well, I don't want to lie to people and sell them shit that is actually going to fall apart or, all the lies we had to tell to sell shit.
Oh, yeah.
Live off the commission. I
fucking Don Cheadle and Boogie Nights.
Yeah,
you got to get the TR-372. You feel that bass? The kid just utter bullshit.
Yeah, I can't do that. I had such a horrible time. It was the worst doing that. I did it for 3 months before I told them to put me in another department because I don't want to do it anymore. I hated it because you're lying to people. You're trying to talk them. You're essentially begging them for their money. I don't fucking like that, dude. I'm not a fan of that. So yeah, those are my jobs. All right, where are we at? 20 minutes. You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, thank you, Will.
This one comes from Jeff Ipsack.
Okay.
Says the Olympics are here and the sports make no sense to me. The summer games, I understand. It's all running, throwing, swimming, and things everyone does. The winter games are this weird mess of stuff that I don't even know how a sport like this started. It's crazy. Is there an event that, if you knew you couldn't get hurt, because that seems to be what these sports are about, you would try? I think I'd go with skeleton or luge. Both of those seem crazy to me. Getting on a tiny sled and going down an icy tube as fast as you can. Just nuts. What about you? Thanks, Jeff. I think those are definitely the two most obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Coupled with bobsled. But even bobsled, you're like behind something.
Yeah.
So what? Skeleton is going face first.
Yeah. I think it's by yourself, right?
Yeah. And then
face
luge.
first.
Then there's the 2-man luge, which I don't understand even more.
Bobsled or whatever. Yeah.
But there's a 2-man luge where you're like laying on top of the other person.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which just seems stupid.
Yeah. Well, look, the bobsled is crazy too, because you could flip over, which has happened.
Yeah.
That's scary. I never thought of it that way, that they're sports. These are all pretty much sports you can get hurt at. I mean, I don't think curling, you can get hurt doing curling, but certainly.
Well, downhill and super G.
Yeah.
Like, I love to ski. Flat out love it.
Yeah.
And I've been on those courses before, not actually doing them, just
right.
Oh yeah, this way it's like it's set up for it and you're going down it at a decent pace and you're like, dear God, they would be flying past me literally doing 50 to 60 miles an hour right now. Like, that's insane. That is utterly insane.
Yeah.
And you're holding on just by, the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all winter sports, he's not wrong.
No, I know. I never thought of it that way. I totally hockey, you can get hurt playing hockey.
Yeah, there's the skiing with the gun for some reason.
Skeet shooting. Yeah. Or it's whatever it is. Yeah.
Why? How is this the sport? Why is this a sport?
Yeah, I mean, ironically, curling is the one of the rare sports in the whole thing of Winter Olympic sports where it doesn't.
And it's dumb, isn't it? It's dumb.
Yeah, I love how Leslie Jones said it. It's marbles on ice.
It's shuffleboard for sober people. This is really. I can't believe this is an international sport. We're using the word sport for this.
By the way, NBC is so ridiculous with the shit they were doing with Leslie Jones. Just utter stupidity, man. That's a corporation.
I didn't see any of it. What is it?
Oh, you didn't? They try, she's on SNL or was on SNL, but she's been doing her commentary about things for the last few years on her Instagram, sports events, Game of Thrones, whatever. And she's done the Olympics before, just kind of.
Yeah, she started in Rio.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so, but this time around, NBC has a show. They essentially took Leslie's idea, and they, of course, got Kevin Hart to do it because Kevin Hart could never.
Oh, yeah, the one with him and Snoop for the last winter.
Yeah,
summer.
Exactly.
They're doing it for winter.
Yeah, for the winter one. And they're bringing in and they're all like making fun of everything like that. But they're not as funny as Leslie. Sorry, they're not. Because Leslie, just with her iPhone sitting in her living room, is fucking funnier than anything they're writing or doing on that show. And they tried to stop her. This NBC reached out and said a cease and desist letter to her.
How can you stop?
And so she's using their footage, and so in her Instagram video, which on Instagram you can't do anymore because they've cracked down on people using footage and music on Instagram. And so she said, like, hey, this is going to be my last one because certain people don't like that I'm doing it, and apparently they think they can get other people who they think are funnier to do it, even though it was my kind of idea. But yeah, I don't know if I'll do another one again. And thanks for watching all the ones that I have done. And there was immediate backlash. Like, people went crazy at NBC, so much so that NBC, like, behind the scenes, worked out a deal with Leslie so she could keep doing it. But yeah, I mean, her just tweeting that, the response was so massive.
Sure,
because she's funny doing it. And so that's a corporation for you. Oh, someone else is doing it. Let's take that idea. They can't come after us for that idea because it's not something necessarily.
Yeah, it's our product.
Yeah, and let's hire people and put them. And performers are like, no, I don't care if I'm stepping on this person's toes. Fuck it, I'm going to make some money.
Well, they might view it as it's different because I'm doing it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the rationale from both sides.
Yeah, right. But either way, it was such a dumb move by them because I don't understand. When corporations get involved and start doing that fucking heavy-handed shit, it was really frustrating, man.
Especially from NBC's perspective, because the ratings have been so terrible for this Winter Olympics that if
Right.
somebody's getting more views for you,
Yeah.
you should just let it go. It's one of the smart things the NBA's done. It's like they don't care if you put clips up
Yeah.
because the more you're talking about on social media, it can only be advantageous.
Yeah. 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 I've never gotten a strike for NBA on game time. Always NFL, never NBA. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look,
Oh,
I've
you
played
use footage?
30-second clips or whatever, and it's never been an issue.
Yeah, the NBA's really lenient about it because I think they have a good policy when it comes to that.
Mhm.
Just like if people are willing to talk about it, man, it's free advertising.
Yeah. Right. It helps
And
us out. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't hurt us. And the NFL is like, we're gonna make our billions. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The ratings are up this year. I get it.
Right.
But unsurprising that NBC would do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so the one sport, I mean, I think I would choose lose your skeleton. Not to steal his answer, but those are the two most bananas to me.
Yeah.
And of the two, I guess I go skeleton to go face first.
Oh my God.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Because you can lie to yourself going feet first. It's somehow safer.
Yeah.
So if there's no consequence of getting hurt, then face first and let's just full throttle this.
Yeah, I'm gonna look winter sports in the Winter Olympics. 'Cause, I mean, I don't want to choose y'all's answers, even though pretty much, it's either that or bobsled.
Yeah.
I wanna
Maybe
make
downhill to go that fast. Actually, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'll take downhill.
Yeah, biathlon is what you were talking about, the walking around and shooting,
Yeah.
and then
The
there's
cross
cross
country
country.
skiing.
Yeah. Luge, snowboard, done. Snowboard. That's what I would do because I've never done that, and it scares the shit out of me to have my legs locked onto a board, um, and doing those flips. So I would do that. If I could do that where I don't get too hurt or don't die, then I would do it. Because sometimes I'll just watch snowboarding is like sometimes I'll turn the sound down, and then it's so peaceful to watch snowboarding. Because it's just like it's just kind of constant. So yeah, I would do that because I've never done that. I've never skied. And so that would be the one thing if I could do that, I would just to kind
Sure.
of be able to go crazy, this Shaun White and all that shit. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it would be fun. I've never snowboarded myself.
Right.
Because
So luge is when you're laying with your feet forward.
yeah, skeleton's face first.
Skeleton's face first. God damn.
Yeah. So I guess I won't take his answer. I'll take downhill to just try and fly down the side of an icy mountain as fast as I possibly can. Because that's one of my favorite things about skiing is
Yeah.
pushing myself to go as fast as I can, knowing
Yeah.
that this is perilous and somewhat stupid.
Wow.
There's an excitement to that.
Yeah.
But then to amp it up another 20 miles an hour or whatever faster than I'm doing, because it's not like I'm doing that the whole mountain. It just stretches where you hit a patch and you're like, yeah, makes the most sense. Just fucking barrel this as fast as I can.
Crazy.
But to do that down the steepest gradients on a mountain is just crazy.
Wow. So I'm watching this shit and I'm just like, this is insane watching them kind of go down just face first. You're right, man. The face first, like anything could happen.
Yeah. And if you go down feet first, you can lie to yourself.
Right. That I'll be able to do something.
Face first is like, if this goes bad, this goes bad.
Yeah,
because you also have your arms back. So you'd have to get your arms up to try. It's not happening. So you're just a human missile flying down an icy tube. It is the dumbest and most impressive of those sports.
Yeah, because I'm watching Kelly Curtis, who's the first Black U.S. Olympian in skeleton. And yeah, the way her arms are tucked under her body. That is
to
scary.
Reduce drag.
I mean, you're going so fast.
Yeah, and you're just using your body weight shifting it to make turns. That stuff's crazy to me.
111 kilometers per hour. That's how fast she's going on this fucking thing.
So what is that, like 55, 60 miles an hour?
Jesus Christ. Look, wow. That is scary, dude.
Hell yeah.
That is some scary ass shit.
That takes balls.
No doubt. No
like
doubt.
big brass balls.
And she's getting faster as the course goes on. Good God.
Yeah, and then to slow down, like you have to lean back and like move your arms up and pull back. So it's kind of the same thing bobsled does. You dig in.
You drag your feet a little bit to kind of slow things down.
You got like spikes on the tips of your shoes.
Yeah. But I like those outfits. I wish I was in shape to put on one of those one piece outfits.
I don't need to make myself feel bad. That's all right. It's just see all the flaws. Oh, I didn't realize the roll extended that far.
How can I have dimples within my dimples?
Yeah, exactly. I thought this thing was supposed to be kind of like Spanx. And, This is the form it's fitting to. Okay. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Oh man. Okay. All right. We're at 31 minutes. We should wrap it up. Thanks.
Well, great question, Jeff.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff.
We appreciate it. Will, Jeff, two good sets of questions. And you guys listen to the call for more questions, but we want even more.
Yes.
We've got enough for the next month's shows pretty easily, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't burn through those in 2 weeks.
You just never know.
You never know. You don't know how in-depth we'll get on the questions. So please, if you are a patron and you enjoy the show, we would love to have your topics and questions. So head over to patreon.com/the top 10. There is an email address just for you over there at the $5 and above level. So rifle them in. We're happy to answer them. Yeah. And I think that's it. You can follow the show at Top 10 Show on Twitter, all spelled out. Otherwise on Instagram and YouTube, it is /the Top 10 podcast with the number 10. And you can follow me at Matt Nost.
You can follow me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Topic Thunder.